Panic was the band before Metallica, and that was only for a short period of time. And I was 20 when I was in Metallica, so I probably started when I was around.
They say success is the best revenge. But what happens when that revenge never quite heals the original wound? In a shocking new interview, Dave Mustaine has finally broken his silence about the betrayal that nearly destroyed him. After 4 decades of building Megadeth into a metal empire, the legendary guitarist just revealed he still feels haunted by what Metallica did to him in 1983. His raw, emotional confession has sent shockwaves through the metal community, exposing wounds that fans thought had long since healed. What did Mustaine just reveal that has everyone talking? David Scott Mustaine's journey to metal stardom began in the most unlikely place, a broken home in La Mesa, California, where music became his escape from chaos and abandonment. Born in 1961, Mustaine grew up watching his father walk away from the family, leaving behind a young boy who would channel that pain into some of the most aggressive and technically brilliant guitar work the world had ever heard. By his teenage years, Mustaine was already displaying the intense perfectionism and volatile personality that would define both his greatest triumphs and most devastating failures. He threw himself into guitar practice with an obsession that bordered on mania, spending hours perfecting complex solos and developing the lightning-fast picking technique that would later influence countless metal guitarists. When the Los Angeles metal scene exploded in the early 1980s, Mustaine was ready. His technical skills were unquestionable, but it was his songwriting ability that set him apart. Songs like The Mechanics and Jump in the Fire showcased not just his instrumental prowess, but his understanding of what made heavy metal truly powerful, the perfect marriage of melody and aggression. The young guitarist's reputation grew quickly, and by 1981, he had caught the attention of a promising new band called Metallica. James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich were looking for someone who could match their vision of taking metal to unprecedented extremes of speed and intensity. Mustaine seemed like the perfect fit, a technically gifted musician with original songs and the drive to push boundaries. For nearly 2 years, Mustaine poured his heart and soul into Metallica, contributing not just his guitar skills, but several songs that would later become metal classics. He was there during the band's formative period, helping to create the template for what would become thrash metal. The morning of April 11, 1983, started like any other for Dave Mustaine, until it became the day that would haunt him for the rest of his life. After nearly 2 years of building Metallica's sound and reputation, Mustaine woke up in a New York hotel room to find his bandmates standing over his bed with news that would shatter his world completely. There had been tensions building for months, and his volatile temper was creating friction within the band. But in his mind, these were issues that could be worked through, problems that came with the territory of being young, ambitious musicians. What Mustaine didn't expect was the cold, clinical way his dismissal was handled. There was no discussion, no opportunity to address the problems, no chance to fight for his place in the band he had helped create. Instead, James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich simply informed him that he was out, handed him a bus ticket back to California, and walked away from 2 years of shared dreams. "I felt like I'd been stabbed in the back by my best friends," Mustaine revealed in a recent interview, the pain still evident in his voice decades later. The years following his departure from Metallica became a period of torment for Dave Mustaine that went far beyond simple professional disappointment. As Metallica's star began to rise with Kirk Hammett replacing him on lead guitar, Mustaine was forced to watch from the sidelines as his former bandmates achieved everything he had dreamed of. The psychological impact was devastating. Mustaine found himself obsessively following Metallica's career, unable to look away even as each new success felt like a personal rejection. When Kill 'Em All was released in 1983 featuring reworked versions of songs he had contributed to, the pain was almost unbearable. Watching them succeed with music I helped create was like watching someone else live your life, Mustaine admitted in a candid moment during a 2019 interview. Perhaps most painful was the realization that his replacement, Kirk Hammett, was receiving praise for playing solos that Mustaine had originally written. The technical complexity and innovative style that had made Mustaine special was now being attributed to someone else. Dave Mustaine's response to his Metallica dismissal was swift and decisive. If he couldn't be part of their success, he would create something even better. Within months of returning to California, he began assembling what would become Megadeth, driven by a burning desire to prove that Metallica had made the biggest mistake in rock history. The formation of Megadeth was fueled by pure rage and determination. Mustaine recruited bassist David Ellefson and set about creating music that would be faster, more technically complex, and more aggressive than anything Metallica could produce. This wasn't just about starting a new band. It was about revenge through musical superiority. Early Megadeth material was a direct response to his former bandmates. Songs like Mechanics were deliberate rewrites of material that became Metallica tracks, with Mustaine's versions designed to showcase the superior speed and technical ability that he felt Metallica lacked without him. The strategy worked brilliantly. Megadeth quickly gained recognition as one of the most technically proficient bands in the emerging thrash metal scene, establishing them as serious competitors to Metallica. Despite achieving massive success with Megadeth, selling over 30 million albums worldwide, Dave Mustaine has never fully escaped the shadow of his Metallica dismissal. In recent interviews, he has opened up about how the success of Megadeth, while personally fulfilling, never completely healed the wounds from 1983. The problem wasn't that Megadeth failed, quite the opposite. The band achieved critical acclaim, commercial success, and respect throughout the metal community. But success built on revenge carries its own psychological burdens, and Mustaine has been remarkably honest about the toll it took on him personally. "There's still part of me that wonders what could have been if they hadn't kicked me out," Mustaine confessed in a recent interview, revealing that even after decades of success, the original wound remains sensitive. Today, Dave Mustaine stands as one of metal's most respected figures, but his story serves as a complex examination of how personal betrayal can fuel both artistic greatness and lasting psychological damage. His recent openness about still feeling betrayed by his 1983 firing has surprised fans who assumed his success with Megadeth had long ago resolved any lingering issues. The reality is that some wounds cut too deep to fully heal, regardless of subsequent achievements. Mustaine's honesty about his ongoing feelings has resonated with fans who appreciate his vulnerability and authenticity. His influence on metal music is undeniable, but perhaps his greatest contribution has been demonstrating that artistic excellence can emerge from personal pain. Thanks for watching. Click here to check another video and make sure to subscribe to our channel.